Okay, hello there guys, welcome back to another LibGDX video tutorial. As you remember in the previous video, what we managed to do is adding font to the game. We managed to add some text, uh, so such as wave and the number of ships that you have and the status of the shield, right? What we want to do today is adding multiple screens. Okay, so the way we are gonna add multiple screens, we could complicate things or we could make things very simple. So what are we gonna do is define a variable indicating which screen we are going to use. Okay, so here I will say in this case I will say here the screen variable. So here int screen equals 0, and here what that means, well, it seems that what is it? Okay, so here when screen is 0 it represents the title screen, when it is 1 represent the game, when it is 2 represent game over, and so on. So let's go to our game. This is the render model. Okay, so what we could do now is just copy all of this code. Okay, I will copy all of this and put it in a different, okay, let me see, I removed all of that. I'm gonna say here public void screen, let me say or call this game screen. Okay, and I'm gonna paste everything here. Okay, so all I have to do is something simple. I just say if screen equals 1, in that case call the game screen. Okay, very straightforward. Okay, now in case the screen is 0, what's the initial value? Okay, if screen is 0, so I'm gonna copy this function and I'm gonna remove or strip it down to the bare minimum. I will show you in a second. Let me show you here. So I pasted the function, so we have 2 copies, but this one is going to be, instead of game screen, it will be title screen. And the title screen, we won't have stages there at all, but we will have timer here. Yeah, we won't affect the stage timer at all. We won't work with anything there, and we want to update user status. Okay, but we don't want to update the player. Yeah, as for user input, we'll process it differently. Okay, because we need to do some to have some kind of menu. Okay, and check collision, we don't worry about that as well. Yeah, the part that we are interested in is beginning the display, clearing things, and rendering the background. We don't have shoot or player to render for now. We don't want to render enemies. We don't want to render explosions, nor buttons. Okay, and we don't want these things here. yeah, and rendering the virtual display. Yeah, so now I will just say if screen equals 0, then title screen, meaning that I will render the title screen. Else, if we have screen 1, we will go to the game screen. So now if we run this one, we will just see the background without anything at all. Okay, so you can see that we only have this background that we created previously. Now if we change the title screen, as you can see here, sorry, this the screen here variable, I'll make it goes from 0 to 1. Let me show you. We will start the game right away. So wait a second here, let's see. You can see now this is the game, right? So let's go back to this one. Okay, so the function title screen here will be used to render the title of the game, the options, and all the main menus, and from that we will either go to the game or exit it or do something differently. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Well, basically we want to have a title. Okay, so let me see, we are rendering the background here. Next we will render the title. Okay, so I'm gonna say game font dot draw. Okay, we have SB or batch, I suppose, yes, followed by the string. Okay, what am I supposed to GDX force, for example, whatever. Well, let me say space force. Okay, whatever. Okay, space force 229, whatever. For example, let's say this is the model of the spaceship, whatever. Yeah, I did put a plan for the game or whatever. I mean, just learning with you guys. So where should this be? Okay, so we want this to be is there something that allow us to place this one in the middle of the display? We have target width, target height, and wrapping, right? So let me see. Game font dot what do we have? Get region, no. Get space width, get X height, set color, get, let me see, I suppose there should be something that helps me identify the size. Get cache, get capital height, get data, get region, get space width. Okay, let me try this. Let me search the net quickly for that. LibGDX bitmap font, get text width Okay, I need to get the text width in order to place it in the middle of the screen. Yeah, so let me see that. Somebody should have done something like that. Like left layout, blah blah blah. No, what do we have? Don't think anyone answered that. Label. I'm not sure. Okay, let me try something else here. How to get enough font? Okay, let me see. Get bounds, I think. This is the one. Get bounds. Yeah. So here, game font. Get. There's no such thing. This is interesting. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do it manually for now, but later on we will have to. Well, we'll have to do it using a better technique. Get cache for. Okay. For expert users, return the bitmap font cache used by the font for rendering the sprite. This can be used, for example, to manipulate glyph colors and within a specific index. Get cap height, returns capital height. This is from the top of the most uppercase. No, not this one. Get ascent, return the ascent, which is the distance from the cap height. Never mind. Get color, get data, get the underlying bitmap font data, get descent, no, get line height, get region, returns the first texture region. This includes the backward compatibility and for convenience since most fonts, yeah. Get region, returns the texture page, returns the texture page at that given index. What? Get regions, array of text that represent each. Okay. Get scale X, doesn't say much. Return the width of space of the space character. Get X height as a flipped. Yeah. Texture. Sorry, it's taking me some time. I might use this integer position. Check whether this font uses integer position. Never mind. Equals. Get class. Notify all. Wait. Parcast. Field instance of an n. Null return. Yeah, these are keywords. So I'm not sure if we could find a way, but for now let me just say that this is gonna be virtual width divided by 2, okay, followed by virtual height divided by 2. Okay, very sorry, I didn't do my homework and check this. Actually, I don't have much time to do some other homework. I need to, this is the only time available. So the problem here I wanted to solve is that this text need to be centered in the middle. So I need to subtract, half this distance, okay, but I don't know how, because there isn't anything that could help me. Yeah, let me see if there is another thing here. We have target with start and end, boolean wrap, truncate. Yeah, we have target width, which represent the maximum width, and start and end. Nothing about centering things here. That is a disappointment. Anyway, so what am I gonna do? I'm gonna say subtract, let's say 100 pixel from the width. Let's see where that is being placed. Okay, let's subtract more. Subtract 200 this time. Okay, need to be a little bit to the right, so instead 180. I suppose that will be it. Of course this is not very accurate. I need to know the region, the width of this one. Regardless, now I want also to do, you know, some trick or some fancy effect for this font. So I'm gonna add this int I equals 0, I is more than 7, I plus a plus, right? So here I will, you know, say plus I. Okay, not only that, I will do this trick. Just say game font set color. Now this is gonna be I will use color GDX dot color dot what was it? New color? Yeah, new color. And I need to specify the red, green, blue components, right? So the red is going to be 0.5 F, the green 0.5 F, and the blue 0.5 F plus. Now this is going to be I multiplied by 1.0 F and divided by 7. Okay, 0.0 F. If I'm not mistaken, right? So let me see. Does that work? Does that work? Okay, it's objecting on to something here. Cannot resolve float. So float, and there should be something else, right? Yeah, it need to be an alpha there. Okay, 1. So I set the color like that, and next I will just say set the font color to normal. New color is gonna be 1, 1, and 1, and finally also 1. There you go. So let's see if this one works. Let's have a look at the okay, this did not, you know, this didn't do anything, kind of. So here, oh, I didn't use I. Yeah, because I need to add I here. I wanted to add I and add I here and there. So there will be small shift. Okay, now it's kind of 3D, if that makes sense, right? We drew the font multiple times and changed it. I think my choice of color is bad, so instead of this I will just you know, move these guys. I'll make the first component red followed by 0.5. Okay, so I changed the color now. Let's see how things are. Yeah. Well, so here, what do we have? We have, this is gonna be 0.1, 0.1, so it should be kind of red, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, my choice of color is always bad. Anyway, so probably this is gonna be 1. Okay, I'll make this one and make the others, increase. You know, 0.5 plus this part. There you go, and there's gonna be 0.5 plus this part. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look. Okay, I think this is a little bit better than before. Kind of better. Okay, not only that, if we made I, multiply I by 2 and multiply this by 2, I think we'll have better results. Oh no, this is horrible. This is really horrible. Okay, so put it the way it was, but here instead of adding I will subtract it, so the direction, it won't come from down upwards or from, going downwards. Yeah, as expected. Yeah, as expected. Now this one, on by 0.5 F. Okay, multiply by 0.5 F. Okay, so I'll make this, yeah, I suppose this is better. Yeah, whatever. So this is much better, I suppose. Along shadows is bad. Yeah. So this is the first thing that we have. We added the title of the game. We need to add a number of things, like for example options, and the exit command. So there's options, there's the exit command. We want to add credits, okay, and the play the game part. So we will need to create a button for this, right? Now if we try to do that now, let me show you. If we try to render user input here, so where is that? Where is the part where we render the user input? Let's go to the game screen and steal some of our code. Where is that? Render background, render sprites, render blah blah blah, render explosion, render buttons. There you go. We have this guy. So I'll copy this. Copy. Now I'll go to this one. And what am I gonna do is this. Render title. That is fine. Render the buttons. Okay, so what I want to do here is to accept, make the location of the button different. Okay, I want the location of the button different from the game, if that makes sense to you guys. So here, let's see how can we change that. Okay, so I will go to the user input. Where is that? Where is the user input? User input, user input. Input management. There you go. So here in the initialization, what we have right now, we define the button, right? And we have the left direction, right? This to represent the left direction, this represent the right direction, right? And oh, we only have the left and right direction, but we didn't create something for the fire button. Okay, so we will need to add that. Okay, so we will do something different to these. So let's update the code. There you go. So now I'll call this fire x1 fire. Okay, another fire there, another fire. All right, yeah, and another fire, and finally, yeah. So we have fire mouse x1, fire mouse x2, fire mouse y1, fire mouse y2, yeah, and v fire mouse x1 and v fire mouse y1. Okay, this seems to be okay. This seems to be fine. Okay, and what do we also have? Okay, we have these guys which represent the okay, so I'm trying to remember the code because I did a few days ago and totally forget what this was about. So basically here we are setting the initial values, all right, and then we are setting the left pixels, and here we are setting the right. Okay, so this part over here we are setting, you know, the initial values for the virtual display, but this part we are setting the actual physical values for the buttons, if that makes sense. Now the problem with this code is these positions are fixed, so maybe we don't want to have these positions always fixed. We might want them to change at some point. So first let us add the fire button at any place we would like, and I will show you how we change this very quickly. So I will also copy this one. Okay, so I will call this fire okay, so okay, so the fire button will be on the right. However, on the left and right buttons will be next to each other. So this will be 10 plus. Okay, 10 plus that. Okay, that's wonderful. Now I will also copy this one for the fire button. Be fire. This is gonna be fire, and this is gonna be another fire. Be fire. Okay. There you go. Okay, so we got these guys. Okay, wonderful, no problem there. And I just need to update this, add something similar. This is gonna be, let's see, fire. Let's see. Okay, so we are calculating the physical location for the fire button. If that makes sense to you guys, go here, go here, go here, and go here. That is wonderful. And I suppose that will be it. Okay, so same thing is button press lift. Okay, sorry, let's just render the fire button. Render the fire button. There you go. The fire mouse X1. Right. The fire is gonna be fire. There you go. Fire mouse Y1. Subtract all this other thing. Okay. And finally, move left, move right, and we just need to add a checking here. Okay, so instead of this, there's gonna be fire mouse X1, this is gonna be fire mouse X2, and this is gonna be another fire mouse Y1, and this is gonna be fire mouse Y2. Wonderful. Okay, so in order to test that, let's go back to our game and we set the screen to 1. Okay, and we will see if we could use the mouse to fire bullets instead of a space. Okay, so this will move to me right, left or right, left or right, and okay, obviously this is not working. Okay, so I did something wrong here. This one's still working fine, but this one is not working. So I'll have to check, where is it? Input management, input management. The rendering location is accurate. However, yeah. Oh, sorry. Fire equal true, I suppose. Yeah, so the fire command is being set to true. So let's see if we could fire bullets now. Yeah, still okay. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. I have to debug the code now and stop the other one. Okay, just a second please. It won't take long. Okay, there's an old breakpoint, so don't mind that. Press F9 so that the game runs and click here. Okay, so now where is it? So we have the X value, what's the X value here? It's 1248. This one, it is greater, that's wonderful. This one, what is it? Okay, Farmhouse X2. Okay, so this one's a problem. What about this one? This is wonderful, 100. What about this one? 148. Yeah, let me see. Fire bounce. Okay, so I made a mistake there. Let me stop this. Obviously I did a mistake. Let me see and check the recalculation. Hopefully I figure out what did I do wrong quickly. So we have what? We have V mouse X1. There you go. And the fire bounce X1 and V fire bounce Y1. And yeah. So we have a couple of these because we want to, let's say, recalculate things. Okay, so these are the initial values. So the X1 here equals, the X1, right, this is the fire X1. It's the same value divided by the virtual width, which is 1280, multiplied by the physical width, which is 1280. In this case it will be 1, so no problem. The X2, let me see, so if this one is 1, oh, the X2, oh, okay, I think I got it. Yeah, I'm very sorry. So this is what happens when you copy without focusing on what you copy. Okay, because here I did a mistake. Yeah, so fire bounce X1. Okay, so fire bounce Y1. Yeah, this needs to be fire as well. And yeah, this is it. Let me stop this. Wonderful. And now let's run. Okay, so now we can use our touch screen in order to fire bullets, and we are gonna use this button and change our, you know, how do you say that? We are gonna change the location of the button in order to detect our option that is being selected. We will use a very similar technique to that. Okay, I hope that would make sense to you guys. So one last thing I want to check is to run this in Android and see if a different display size still working. We checked that before, it should work, but you know, just to make absolutely sure that it's working fine. Okay, and let me rotate this. Yeah, not much of a progress so far. We just have a title screen, which is not great, but when we finish this, you will see how we could, you know, use this technique to identify which button is being pressed. It will be worth it, so just wait and see. Maybe we'll split this to 2 videos so that it's not too long. Okay, come on, start. Android start. Okay, so now it's working. We can use this. You can see now we could move left and right, and now we could shoot bullets, and it is working perfectly fine with different resolution. No problem there, and we could move this left and right. Okay, no problem, right? So let us shut this down, and actually maybe I keep pressing. Come on. Yeah, I want to power off. Yes. So while this one is shutting down, let's get to the next thing to do, since now we added this one. What we want to do is to have a way to manage that in a better way. We need multiple buttons, okay, if that makes sense. So in order to do that, instead of repeating things, as you can see here, we are repeating the same thing. We are defining these, right? We are calculating the location, and then updating that and checking the touch on these, if that makes sense, right? And then setting a flag to be true. So it will be much better if we could create a single item that would represent a button, so that we could replicate it. So we could create 50 buttons or 60 buttons, or maybe 4 or 5 buttons for menu items, if that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so what are we going to do is we are going to define a simple data structure here, or let me say a class which represents a button. Okay, so here let me see, should I define it in a different file? You know what, maybe I'll try to make it here. So public class button. Okay, so we are going to define a class that's called button. So here I'll say public int. I will just copy these, put them here. Okay, but instead of making them left right, I will just make them like that. Okay, this is going to be V, this is going to be V. That's wonderful. So we have these members. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, and next we have public boolean old value, okay, equals false, and public boolean value equals false. So the variable old value and the variable value, they both represent the status of the button, but one in the past and one currently, so that you could detect if the button has been pressed or not, and not right away if there is a change, if that makes sense to you guys. What also do we have? We will add something extra here, which is public string text. Okay, so since we have font now, we could actually display some text, right? And we can display some text inside this button. Okay, so now since we finished this one, we could actually add few methods to simplify things. Okay, so we'll say button. Okay, there's going to be a constructor. So here int x1 y1 int x1 int y1, or maybe you just set xy and we could fill things later. Okay, so I will go and copy some of this code here. Okay, yeah, so I'll put this one here. So this is gonna be what? This is gonna be x, and the second variable, this is gonna be this one, mouse x1, plus the width of the button. It is 3 units, each unit is 16 pixel, because I created the graphics so I know the dimensions of that. And the left is actually equal to y. I will pass the y, and the y2, it will be y1 plus, again there's gonna be 3 by 16 units. Okay, again because I made it this way. The next thing I want to do is you know, make these guys, where is it? Yeah, it's this one. So this is gonna be v mouse x1 v mouse blah blah blah. Okay, and finally we are going to update these guys. Okay, there you go. So now let me see, remove the word fire here. Okay, so we have these guys, right? Virtual width, yeah. Okay, that's fine, that is wonderful. So here the constructor, I pass to it the x and y of the button and end up with all the coordinates being calculated correctly. Very important, but also very straightforward. Okay, so in addition to that, maybe I will just say another thing: public boolean visible, okay, equal false. Okay, and by this I mean I could set the button to be visible or not, so active or inactive, if that makes sense to you guys. Anyway, so also what I want to do, so I created these. Okay, I will just need to do one last thing, which is the checking for you know, the checking that a button has been pressed. Okay, so this is the constructor, so I will just call this public void check touch. That makes sense to you guys? Okay, so here I will pass int x and int y. I pass x and y, and I check this against mouse x1, mouse x2, mouse y1, and mouse y2. Wonderful, very straightforward. Now we finished all of these. I will just say this. Now we have list of button. Okay, this is going to be public list of button. I call this buttons. Okay, equals a new list of button. There you go. Wonderful. What else do we have? What was it? Yeah. Java util, I suppose this should be it. Yes. What is it objecting about? Okay, I think this needs to be array list. Something like that. I'm not sure. Okay, buttons. Yeah, a new array list. Anyway, so here we have this one being set. So I will remove these variables. Okay, no problem. I will also remove these guys and also remove this guy. Okay, so the initialization here is simple. I create this one because I want to create a texture for the button itself. Now I will recreate the buttons in a much better way. So left button equals button, left button equals a new button, and I need to pass the x and y, and the x is 10, y is 100, and all the calculations will be updated accordingly. And now we have buttons dot add. I add that to the list, left button. Okay, so you finished the first one, you finished the left button. Okay, next I will repeat the same thing here with the right one. So this is gonna be right button, and the x is yeah, Control C, Control V. Okay, so this is the right button, if that makes sense to you. And finally we have the fire button. Okay, and the fire button is different because not much different, but actually it is at the very far right. So I just need to copy these guys. These represent the x value, so just the x value is a little bit different. Okay, so we got these guys. Okay, next, what do we say? Buttons, oops, dot add right button, semicolon, and we have buttons dot add fire button. Okay, so we got all these. Next I will remove these guys because I already have the calculations. So now look at this, how simple it is now. We define 3 buttons and add them to the button list. Now we update the status. Okay, so store old values. Okay, I don't need to do that actually. Right, so let me see, let me go back to this one. The word left, I don't need left here. Okay, I'm very sorry. Value. Okay, so here we have old value equals value, right? Yeah, this should be it. So let's go back to the check the keyboard. Okay, so checking the keyboard, I will change the order here in order to simplify things on myself. So I put these here. Okay, so if a button is being pressed or the left mouse button is being pressed, in that case I will do the following. I'll just say for int I equals 0, I smaller than buttons dot size and I plus a plus. Okay, so we have buttons dot get buttons dot get element I dot check touch. I pass X and Y and it will check if the button has been pressed. That's it, very straightforward, and I don't need to do anything else. Okay, finally, now yeah, so here now, in order to check the keyboard as well, I will have the keyboard status having an OR condition with the current value of the buttons. Okay, so I created 3 buttons, right? So they are left, right, and fire. Okay, so in this case, buttons dot get element I, oh sorry, 0, this is the first one, dot value, this should equal the same value with an OR condition, so anyone is true, it will prevail. Okay, the same thing goes here, but this time this has the index 1, and the last one the same. Okay, do this with me, I'm almost finished. Okay, so I have to do something else here. I would say button size, right? Just have to say if what was it, if buttons dot get I dot visible. Okay, if the button is visible, check its touch status. In my case, I didn't make the button visible, so left button dot visible equals true, right button dot visible equals true, and fire button dot visible equals true. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so we did that. Now we are rendering the buttons. So for int I equals 0, I smaller than buttons dot size and I plus plus. Next, if buttons dot get I dot visible, in that case we will just render the button itself, right? So we draw this dot buttons, sorry, and the location is gonna be buttons get element I dot what was it, v mouse x1, right? And then we have yeah, we need to copy this part. Get y mouse 1, right? Yeah, minus region height, region width, region, yeah, I suppose this will be it, right? let me have a look at this again. So we place the mouse x1, the height, subtract the mouse y1, that's wonderful, minus this, get height, right, this region width, blah blah blah. It seems to be accurate, however it is objecting on something here, right? So what is it? Cannot resolve the draw. Okay, so oh, I am very sorry. Yeah, it is a button, not buttons here, the first parameter. I am very sorry. My mistake, my mistake, my mistake. Anyway, so there you go. So we set this here. In addition, we are going to draw the text that we passed to it. Okay, so we are gonna say game font g0 and game dot game font dot draw. Okay, I pass SB followed by the text. Now the text in this case is gonna be buttons dot get the element I dot text at location. Now the location we want it to be this is going to be the X, right? Or actually yeah, this does not need to be, yeah, v mouse x1 followed by, let me see, v mouse y1. Yeah, so this should help us render the text itself. Yeah, what about the game font? Why it's not being recognized? Let me see. Game font. Okay, it needs this to be this is not a static member. So if I could make it static, so I just set it once, static, and I could use it everywhere. So let's save this here. Okay, let's go to input management, and it worked now. Okay, that's fine. We don't need to do anything else about the others. We just get rid of them. That makes sense. And yeah, I suppose that's it. Oh, one last thing here. So the left button dot text equals. So I want to display these symbols for the left button. As for the right button, I'll put these symbols. Okay, and finally for the fire button, I will put the star symbol. Okay, so let's try this now. What is it objecting about? I'm not sure. Let me see. Okay, okay, so user input move left. Oh, I think I made the simple stupid mistake here. Yeah, I might have removed the main flags indicating you know, that you know, indicating the direction the player should move on if there is a fire. Okay, so public move left, public boolean move left false, and also public boolean move right There you go, and public boolean fire. There you go. And I need to set these at the end here. So set the bars. Okay, so move left equals, in this case, buttons dot get 0 dot value. Okay, so CVVV, there's gonna be 1, there's gonna be 2, move right, there's gonna be fire. Okay, I think there's also the new the old values, right? If I'm not mistaken, we need to set the old fire variable. Okay, so here old fire is gonna be old value, right? So we need to set where is that old fire. So sorry about that. Yeah, so the point of all of this, that we create a simple class for buttons, and now we could create any number of buttons we need. Okay, this is the rendering of the buttons, and they already include their own code to, you know, check the touch control. Okay, and as for, you know, these are very special cases. We want to check them all the time. Anyway, so let's see what we get now. Okay, so it kind of worked here. Okay, not very well. Seems like I messed things up. Okay, never mind. So where is the touch part or update part? Where is that? Stupid mistake. I already know what I did there, but where is the check touch? So I set this one. I just say value equals false. That's it. Now let's see how this works. Oh, come on. What? This is very weird. Okay, let me see. Okay, so let me see. So I press this one, but when I release the old value, okay, so interesting. Okay, let me see. So what I had to do is actually, regardless of the touch itself, I need to set the value to false. Okay, so input management, let's see, where is the part here? Where is it? Where is it? Initialization, no. Where is the update status? So I loop on these if there is a, okay, else all I have to do is loop on all of these. Just do two simple things here. If it is visible, the value equals false. There you go. Old value equals the current value, and the value equals false. I think this is what I am missing. Okay, so if there is a click, I will check things here. If it's not, I will, you know, just make sure that this is set to false. I think this is what I forgot to do. very sorry about that. Let's have a look. Now it's working well. Okay, that's fine. Now the final thing remaining is that these buttons, you know, the text is being displayed on the wrong location. So where is that? The Y, the Y, the Y, the Y, the Y. This needs to be what? The virtual height. There you go. Control C. The virtual height, subtract the mouse Y. Okay. So let's see. That is, yeah. Run this. Okay, so I need to shift it a little bit to the right and a little bit downwards, right? So here, yeah. So let's assume that each one of these will display a single character, so that I have, you know, uniform dimension in my case. So I simplify things to myself, if that makes sense. So the X will increase by 16 and the Y decrease by 16, and we run again. Okay, so this is the right, this is the left, and this is the fire. Okay, so very straightforward. Now let's go to our game, and next we will just say the following. We want to go to screen 0 and let's run. Okay, so here you can see that the buttons are available there, but what we want to do is to hide them. We don't want the user interface to appear. So in our case, all I have to do, let me go to the where is it? The first screen. Where is the first screen? The title screen. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, this is the title screen. I'll just say game input sorry, user input dot buttons, sorry, buttons dot get the element 0 dot visible equals false. There you go. Yeah, so I will set the 3 buttons to be invisible. Okay, so let me run this here. This is taking a little bit more than expected, but anyway. So now these buttons, the 3 of them, are all invisible, so I cannot see them. So just to show you what are we going to do, let's go to the input management here, and now I will add the menu buttons right now. Okay, so here I will add let me see, button, I will call it start game button. There you go. And its location, this is going to be virtual sorry, g01 dot virtual width divided by 2 subtract from that 16 multiplied by 3 divided by 2. Okay, so you know what, subtract 100, that's it, and make it at location 100, not sure. Anyway, so this is the first thing. Its visible property is, I'm gonna leave it as it is. And buttons dot add what? This one, start game button. There you go. So now let me go to the our title screen, and I will just tell this one to have button 3, number 3, to be visible. So let's see now. Okay, so we have this button. So what I want now to do is to check if this one is being clicked. I want the game to start, okay, regardless of its wrong location. Okay, just want to do this for now. So where is the part where we update the input here? Update status. Okay, so now check menu or check buttons. So here, if user input dot buttons dot get element 4 or button number 4, which represent the start menu button, dot value. Okay, so if this one is set to true, then screen equals 1. Okay, so now let me show you. So I will run this game. Oops. Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's a 3, not 4. My mistake. 0, 1, 2, left, right, fire, and start the game. So my mistake. Let me run this again. Okay, so I click here and the game starts, but when I click here I should hide this button. So when this one is being clicked, I should just say this guy dot visible equals false. Zero, 1, 2. These need to be set to true. I should. So here I am hiding the start game button, and here I am showing the game control buttons. Okay, so let me show you now how simple this is. Click here and now the game starts. Wonderful, right? Very straightforward. Okay, yeah. So I'm sorry I cannot continue further because it's already too late in my case, and the video is already, wow, 1 hour and a half. I didn't expect it to be this long. Anyway, so that will be all for today. Hopefully tomorrow we will finish the title screen and add some menus and finish the remaining stuff, and later on we could focus more on the waves and the states and maybe create some bosses. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.